Last we left off, your hard-fought battle with the famished rock ended with Radovan charming the monster to calm its emotions. Finding its intentions to be purely of a survival nature, you convinced Krima to give her some food, or to give some of her food to the gargantuan bird. After satiating its hunger, you dismissed it and sent it back to its nest and set out on your path to Argynvostholt. After yet another brush with death, with the unstable bridge, Krima was forever grateful, but also in a hurry to make it back home to her family. She gave you all the cart, and you went on your separate ways. The group, realizing it would not be able to make it to Argynvostholt, settled with returning to the Wizard of Wines for some shelter, only to be met with an expectant Strahd von Zarovich, who had invited you all to a wedding event in 2 weeks' time, informing you that there would be peace in the lands from this day forward, as long as you all continued to be peaceful yourselves. After a quick go fuck yourself from Anderson, Strahd turned to mist and vanished in the night.
See, it got him to go away. That's a win in my book.
You now find yourself outside the bloodied Wizard of Wines. What do? It is nighttime. The wagon behind.
Look, I don't mean to be a stick in the mud, but this place doesn't exactly look safe. We'll be sure this is a good spot here.
So is the building itself just still intact, or is it like completely like shattered?
The building itself is still kind of in the same destructed state that you left it, with the trees and the twig blights and all of those. So like there's minor structural damage, nothing like gaping holes in the walls or anything like that, but you can definitely see that there was a battle that took place and several sieges that had happened before, but none of the like outside of the blood that you might have seen in the barn where the horses were stored in the carriage. You haven't ventured inside all the way yet to know the carnage that could possibly await you inside, but as far as like a shelter, it still seems pretty sound.
Look, maybe we haven't checked inside. There might at the very least be supplies.
So, if I remember correctly, last time we left off, Anderson and DJ, or Ramis, went over on their own, and then we stayed back. But then Strahd showed up. Did we converge and meet again as a party?
Yeah, you kind of converged, at least as far as I remember, all kind of met back in the middle with Strahd before he vanished off.
Well,
yeah.
We won't know anything until we go inside and look. And if the monster is to be believed, this place is empty, so it is actually a perfect place to spend the night.
Could be more of a shelter for all five of us than the woods themselves.
Well, I think we should at least go check it out.
After you lead, then.
Alrighty, heading over to the building. Which entrance do you take?
Oh, the front door.
Yeah, just probably the front entrance. Doesn't look like there's anything here.
The typical front door would be up kind of the stairs onto the raised platform where the three large wooden vats where the wine would typically be stored, the giant barrels that are there, and then the double wooden doors that were sliding, previously locked. I believe they were unlocked the last time that you were here. And then there's also the singular door that leads to the workshop, small, where Asterius had fallen asleep the previous night, and then also the way through the barn. So those are all three kind of front doors.
Probably like the big wooden doors leading to like the main house.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why
That's what we entered through the first time, basically.
Okay. Well, the one you entered through the first time was actually the barn.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had,
I think we would just go through the double doors. I mean, we've been in this
Yeah.
place before, so we're pretty familiar with it.
okay. Sliding apart the double doors, dark inside, difficult to
I've
see.
got my sun sword out, so that I'll offer some sunlight,
Okay.
just in case.
Yeah, you're fine. And then what's the additional properties of the sun sword? I forget if there's.
think it
Is
says
it like sting that fucking flares up if there's any undead nearby?
No.
Intent.
As a hearing and normal vision out of range of 60 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a sentient sword, but okay. Stepping through, now with a light kind of casting a lot of large shadows, seeing several more large vats of what once contained the wine that they produced. Large stairwell heading upstairs. You can see several barrels kind of poking through the banisters along the top. The railings kind of showing, some of them broken apart. The floor looking a little worse for the wear. You also see bloodstains on the ground that weren't necessarily there before. However, as far as bodies go, you don't see any.
Are there any platforms that lead up to the vats?
Here we can transition
Yay!
to
Map time.
the.
Also, am I able to tell how fresh the blood is?
Say you're in here. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check, or give me a survival check instead.
Sure thing.
Great roll.
It's definitely beyond several days. The coloration is less of like even old dried blood and more of a soaked into the dry wood or stone crevices. It is more of a stain than it is, remnants of a puddle.
All right, so these are ladders in front of these three vats. Then I will climb up the center one.
Yeah,
and
so
just
this where
very
you're at.
cautiously look.
Okay, where you're at out on this portion is before you actually walk through the double doors. I didn't place your guys inside, but you're more than
okay.
welcome
This is the
to.
porch.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the porch. I don't know whether or not. Okay, yeah, I removed all the lines, so you can technically see everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How tall are these vats that are in this room then? These
In,
vats?
let me.
Again, that's the porch, not a room.
Yeah, that's the porch. Those stone columns that you see in the front. It's let's see, Wizard of Wines.
Kind of like a veranda, then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's a veranda. These ones in particular are 5 foot in diameter, and then probably just a little bit taller than that, probably closer to 6 foot.
Then I'll climb up the ladder that looks like it's in front of them, and just kind of peer inside.
Okay. As you get to the top, slowly, once your head reaches above the apex of the barrel, you can see that they are bone dry. There is nothing, as if these were potentially staged to receive some of the grapes to be mashed. Seeing the spout out front and then an additional barrel to collect it, but it doesn't seem the process has started in these particular ones.
Okay. Empty.
Yeah, just gonna open up the doors and just head right in.
Okay. I was already kind of describing what you were seeing once you got in. Additional large vats of what you could guess would be wine inside, spouts attached to the front, and the large stairwell leading up to kind of a walkway along the perimeter of the second floor, which you remember as the upstairs where you had stayed in their dining room and then had the several bedrooms above. And again, lots of dried bloodstains, but continuing the same story of no bodies to be found.
Can I check in these wine barrels, see if there's anything in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Climbing up to, since there's no ladders here, you would actually have to climb up to the second story and kind of peer over. Once you get to the second story, seeing that the lid is still on, but there is a small hole for you to be able to peer through. It is dark, however. You could give me a perception check. I'd say probably, you know what, give me a perception check with advantage, probably utilizing your smell to be able to smell the contents of inside of the barrel, since you can't really see. The one that you're currently in front of, putting your nose down to the hole in the top of the barrel, you can smell the familiar scent of a wine. You've at least been around it enough to know that it's probably of one of the two makes that you've had since being in Barovia.
Does it smell rancid at all?
No.
Vinegary, perhaps.
I want to go up to the very top level and just kind of kick down all the doors real fast to make sure that there's nobody in here.
Alrighty. Doing so, going up to that top level, getting to actually now what would be the third story. Stepping up the stairs, the wooden stairways not being quiet at all. Going in and kicking open that first door, you find what appears to be a printing press. Your sun sword illuminating the area, finding ink and different things kind of scattered across the ground, as you can see the label maker in the back. Still with some of the purple grape mash labels having been printed. Stepping over into the next room, seeing that again, these bedrooms with just a quick glimpse. You can give me more of a perception, or you can just kicking it open at first glance, walking into all of the rooms, including Davian's kind of master room that was in through the kitchen area. You find nothing.
It's all clear.
The one thing that you would notice is that there doesn't appear to be any bloodstains or anything up here. It seems as if when the fighting began, they met their fate downstairs. As if they weren't running and hiding, they collectively fought.
Okay, so yeah, I'll yell down the hallway. All clear. You guys come in if you want.
Question, DM.
Yes, sir.
This doorway, is this underneath the platform that Anderson is currently standing on?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of squeeze myself in between the barrels and check that door.
Okay. Yeah, opening that door, you step into what's pretty easy to notice is kind of a glass blower's workshop. Seeing some glass bottles kind of hanging from a rack along the back wall, as well as some kind of long tongs, as well as a newly kind of half-shaped bottle laying on the desk. You can see even billows, handheld billows to kind of work the fire that is the forge that's in the corner. There is a set of stairs leading down to what you could only assume to be a sub level, maybe a cellar or a basement of sorts.
Any blood?
Give me a perception check. Do you have dark vision, right? Is that what I remember?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
All right, so no disadvantage there. You do happen to see a trail of blood. Droplets.
Going down the stairs.
Yes.
Just droplets. Not like a smear or anything like that.
With a 24, what I'll say is right here, as you see the droplets kind of descend, or I guess from your point of view, descending down into the stairs, would you follow far enough to be able to get a better analysis of them? Or would you just kind of stay up in the top? Because right now you can only see a couple trailing down.
I'd probably take the first step or two,
okay,
as long as my foot isn't exposed to any boogeymen underneath the stairs.
These are solid stone steps heading down. These aren't wooden stairs with kind of a recess underneath to be able to grab. So the solid stone, as far as looking at the walls, you don't see any like hand smears of them trying to stabilize themselves, but you do see once you take one or two steps down to get a better glimpse at the stairs below, is one of them with a footprint, kind of half molded by a rather decently sized spattering of blood. Definitely not like the drips that you had seen making its way down there. And as you look at it, it does appear that the smear is going in a downward motion or away from the landing of the stairs.
And I don't hear anything down the stairs then?
No. No, you don't hear anything.
I will do the exact opposite of what Panton would do, and instead of making my way down the stairs, I will come back up. And if Anderson is right above me, I don't know if he's moved on or not, I'll, hey, there's blood down this way, on some stairs past the, what I assume is a glassblower's workshop, down more stairs.
Bodies?
Hmm?
Any bodies?
Well, I didn't go wander down to look, but there's some splattering and a footprint of sorts.
Yeah, Anderson will go down to investigate.
So after I call down that everyone, that the coast was clear up top, I'm actually going to settle into the dining room and start taking off my armor. I have wounds to tend to.
Okay.
Yeah, Temperance is definitely going to try and chill out after, recovering from her hangover for the day.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I'm stripping and there's a huge gash in my shoulder. Trying to tend to it.
Okay.
If Anderson follows, I'll point to the little splatterings and then down the stairs over there. You want me to take the lead?
Nah, I'll go first.
Careful.
And I'll start heading down.
Okay.
Oh, and they're notched. I'm right behind him.
Okay. Anderson, what are you using as far as a form of light source? Did you say you lit a torch? I'm sorry, I was reading something while you were headed down.
No, I haven't, but if there's no other light source around, I will light up a torch.
Okay.
If I see him starting to light a torch, I would probably stop him. Like, let me take the lead on this then.
Well, be nice to see, wouldn't it?
If things go sideways, then light that torch. And you see a little glimmer in my eye as I kind of squeeze past you a little bit.
As you're getting further down the stairs, kind of seeing the small trail of blood, you start to notice moss on the walls. It gets a little colder, a little more damp as you get down into the cellar, and as you get down to the bottom, you see that it is there is a door currently in your way. It is, excuse me, a wooden door.
No blood at the base of the door.
It does appear that there is kind of looking down, you would see more drops than usual, as if somebody had to stop for a moment. More so than as they're just continuously walking down the stairs, they had to stop for a brief moment to, for whatever reason. But no blood on the door.
Okay.
Can I go up? Can I like put my ear on the door, see if I can hear anything on the other side?
Yeah, kind of feeling along the walls as you're getting closer to Ramiz, you feel the familiar kind of wooden form of the door, the crack from the stone moss-covered wall into the wooden door. You placing your ear up against it. Give me another perception check. With an 18, you don't necessarily hear anything of note. It sounds like there is a little bit of a draft, and you can kind of even feel it coming from underneath of the door, not with a perfect seal from wood to stone. You even kind of hear some drips. Not like the dripping of blood, but like the dripping of a water into a puddle.
Here.
Not much. Nothing that'll kill us, at least.
Do we need to get the others, or is this something we could just look at our own?
I think we can handle it. I don't, unless it's something real sneaky.
All right. Take a step back. I'll open the door to peer around.
Yep, I'll let him open the door.
And I will very cautiously open the door.
Oh, give me
It
a
allows
second.
itself to be opened.
Yes, it does. Give me
Okay.
a moment. Let me. There we go. Okay. As you open up the door, creaking it, hearing the sound of the rusted hinges being constantly exposed to that damp air down here, you immediately notice that the floor is covered with a very thin layer of mist. Looking out, you can see a large, noticing how much higher the ceilings are now that you're stepping out into or looking into this room. 8-foot tall wooden dividers in this room, basically housing bottles upon bottles of wine. Wooden pillars spaced probably every 10 or so feet hold up this the ceiling even higher than the 8-foot partitions with the wine bottles inside of it.
I will take a step in just to kind of see a little bit more.
Okay. Stepping in, you can see that it extends another, 20, 30 feet west, and only a few feet, 10 feet to the east, you can see on that side what appears to be a ramp headed up, smooth, and you can see kind of a worn groove in it, and kind of looking around, seeing some barrels in the far back corner. You imagine that that's probably the way that they get the barrels down into this cellar, is by rolling them or sliding them down this slide, if you will.
Okay.
And on the far western end, you can see what appears to be staircases leading up.
Looks clear so far. Just hang out for a moment. And I'll take a couple of steps this way to kind of peer whatever rack that is in front of me. To the north of me, I should say.
Yeah, peering around it, it seems empty. You see more supports for the basement floor. Again, seeing some wine barrels in the back, kind of cocked to the side, not in any sort of orderly fashion. You're only seeing 3.
Okay. Is this a door right here to the right by chance, or is this just another wall?
No, it's just a wall, the line.
Okay.
It's
fine.
Yeah. Walking past this partition, seeing all of these wine bottles in them, there's probably, I don't know, 50, 60 wine bottles that you can see poking out of these partitions.
Okay, so this is a wine rack in front of me then.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, if you're in the drinking mood tonight, there might be a little something here for you all.
Anderson just goes up and just grabs 2 bottles of wine and puts them in his pack.
Okay.
Just without saying anything.
Okay. As you pull the bottles down at a quick glance, looking at them, the 2 bottles that you grab happen to be in different years, one directly after the other, giving you the impression that a bottle was kept from each particular year and stored down here.
Nothing, like a loud whisper, nothing around the corner here. And another set of stairs that lead up. Oh.
What's your passive perception, Ramiz?
22.
Okay. As you get into that back corner of that room, peeking around, and you let out that whisper saying nothing's back here around this corner, you hear something. But it's coming from the other side of the wall. You hear the sound of rocks crumbling, falling.
Wait, where did I hear that?
So,
We're like in this area?
yeah, when you were in this area, you heard like a similar noise to small rocks kind of falling down a cascade, like of a small ledge or something.
I'll begin poking and prodding at the wall then, looking for any openings, any trick ledges, any slots or anything like that.
In that particular area?
Yes.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Kind of feeling, touching around in that corner and along the general vicinity of the walls. You're not finding anything that would make a good trick wall or secret door or anything like that. The one thing that I would say you do notice that seems kind of odd is the division in the center of the room. Seems odd shape. Why bisect the room that way? Why wouldn't they just leave the entire cellar completely open when they've used support structures everywhere else? Why is this jutting out like that?
I thought I heard something sound like tumbling rocks on the other side of the wall. What is something off about these rooms? I mean, they have the stone pillars arranged a particular way, but this just seems like an odd choice to put these shelves in the middle of the room instead against the walls.
You thinking it might have to do with just the arrangement of the wine? Like you pull one out might reveal a room?
I don't know. I begin looking at this shelving unit.
Shelving unit,
kind of-
you will see that there are no wine bottles to be found on this particular side. The only wine bottles that are found downstairs, outside of the one that's smashed on the opposite side of that particular divider, is in the eastern shelving.
I see 2 bottles on the ground. Do they have labels on them?
They do.
I'll look at the labels.
Okay. The shattered one, it's really difficult to make out. What are you looking for in particular?
Just any. Oh, we lost Joseph.
Some
A
diet.
vintage or something like that, and he is resurrected.
That was weird.
You alive there, Joseph?
Yeah,
Hey, he's
the
back.
internet just cut out.
Okay. With these 2 particular bottles, kind of scouring over the one that's broken, it's a little bit more difficult to find, but you do find the year to be 306, and that is all the more that it says. The one next to it says 346, so not seeming to be any sort of pattern. Although I will say that the one that is smashed, it is not the same as the one that's still intact. The one that's intact is purple grape mash. The one that is smashed has while it's still stained, it's more of a pristine label. It's you can tell that it's of finer quality. Kind of piecing it together a little bit. One of the champagne is kind of the word that you can kind of muster.
Okay. I will relay that information to Anderson. Looks like somebody was careless with a bottle, a good bottle, evidently.
Seems like it. If I go over to the shelf, you said the numbers were 306 and 346.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're in order by year, can I look to see if the bottles are still there? If the year of the bottle is gone.
You can. The bottles are missing.
Okay. Not sure if it has anything to do with this, but they must have taken the bottles off of the shelf here.
Well, I'm gonna go back over to this bottle. The 346 was the one that was intact. I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna put it back in the slot that I think 346 belongs.
Okay. Putting it back in, once you hit the back of what you would assume to be the back of the divider there, you feel some resistance and a resounding clicking noise.
Oh.
But nothing happens. You don't hear any other sound outside of that.
We
Can
need
I
another
just put
bottle.
one of the bottles I got into 306 as well? See if I get similar resistance.
Yeah. As you place one of the bottles into that one, you do not. Hearing the noise from when Ramiz had placed the bottle in, you just hit the solid wood from behind.
Interesting.
So something's here. I start exploring. Has anything changed with the room?
No, let me make sure I make it clear. The click you heard definitely came from the wall or the shelving unit that you placed the bottle back into. You didn't hear any additional noise around the room.
I'm gonna. Oh, spending a lot of time on the puzzle here. I'm gonna look at 346, and I'm
Okay.
gonna try to peer in there and see if there's anything in the way or something like that. If there is any sort of mechanism in there.
That was the one that you had originally placed the bottle
Or
in.
306, sorry.
Okay,
The other one.
in 306, as you pull that out, looking back in with your dark vision, you can see that it is indeed just solid wood behind.
Not sure.
Okay. Does the shelf, I don't know, like Scooby-Doo style, like open now? Okay. Had to make sure.
Guess.
Is
just keep an eye out.
the bottle still in 346? Like when you placed it in
Yeah,
there, you left it there, right?
Yeah, I left it in there. Well, I
Alright.
guess just keep an eye out for something of 306, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I look back at the broken bottle. I don't necessarily think a broken bottle of wine is going to change anything.
You will, as far as Anderson, when you place the bottle back, you would notice that 306 was the very first year.
Okay. Is the styling of the bottles any different?
Outside of peering across them and seeing that some of the labels are a little different, rotating between the three Champagne du Stomp, Purple Grape Mash, and Red Dragon Crush.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this either.
It's fine. Like I said, if we just, I guess, if we're walking around and we see another bottle, maybe we revisit this area. But
Yeah.
you can let the others know as well. Like, we found it, and just go about it that way. Up these stairs, I suppose.
You can go that way. I'm gonna go back up the way that we came.
Okay.
And once I reach the top of the stairs, I'm going to lay down a bear trap, one of those hunter traps that I have, just right at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
Here as I go. To the left.
Alrighty. Making your way back up, we're gonna yada yada through. Where's your intention to go after this? You gonna head back upstairs, like try to find the rest of the group?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, let them know what happened.
Okay. Radovan, what are you doing?
Perimeter check.
You are doing a perimeter check?
Perimeter check. Nobody checked around the perimeter.
Okie dokie, yeah.
Everyone's gonna check the
He
perimeter
makes a good point. Nobody did.
for himself.
Go ahead and give me perception, or you're okay. You're doing it stealthily. And
I'll
what?
give you perception too.
Perception and investigation. It depends on how you're trying to investigate the area.
Wait, did those not go through?
No.
Yikes. That's weird. Oh, shit. New computer. I could have been doing that
You
the
can.
whole
I
time.
mean, you can just tell me what it is. I'll trust you.
I got a 22 in stealth and a 20
That sounds
in perception.
unbelievable. 220s, new computer. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, being just generally familiar with Barovia and having known of this place before, and keeping close, lurking in the shadows as you go across, you find that the perimeter seems safe. What are you looking for specifically?
Well, I imagine, I feel, I don't remember specifically, but I'm pretty sure that, the group told me about their fights with the druids and, like, meeting the raven people and the like, so, I know that they were defeated by the necromancer,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't finish off the druids, so, any sign of those blighted plants that I probably noticed, entering this area.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, keeping an eye out, knowing that they tend to camouflage themselves in the already existing foliage. You look and inspect kind of the vines the ivy that's creeping up the side of the building. Checking some of the already existing bushes, even from afar, trying to study and watch for any motion that you might see. You feel that the perimeter is pretty safe. This entire process, depending on how steady you were going, probably take a solid 40 minutes to do it stealthily and thoroughly.
Okay.
But you don't see anything outside of an occasional matted grass, kind of stained, or muddy patch.
Okay. Then I'll come back inside and after that's done and say, "Hello?"
Yep, we're still alive.
Yeah, it's about that time that you would be reconvening with them as they're coming up from the cellar, Ramiz and Anderson.
I've finished checking the perimeter.
Anything?
Seems quiet. Seems undisturbed.
These seems to think that there's something in the basement, though we can't figure out what.
A creature?
No idea. Something to do with the wine rack down there, though. We can't
Some
figure
form
it
of
out.
magic. A secret door? A
Maybe.
hidden tunnel?
Maybe. We heard a click when we put one of the wine bottles back, but that's all we heard.
Click.
Yeah.
Like some sort of mechanical device. Was
Probably.
interesting.
I laid down a trap if they want, in case they wanted to come up, but just thought I would let you know.
Looks like there's blood about, but no bodies.
Yeah.
All
looks to be the
bones.
case.
Do keep in mind that Strahd did say that the ones who didn't come, that they all eventually came, just some of them came willingly.
You picked out some choice vintages, I assume?
Hey, I pull out the wine bottles. They look like wine to me.
Well, keep them in your pack. I don't want people's senses dulled or their attitudes affected after last night's festivities.
was going to share them with anyone in the first place, but it's good to know.
Well, I hope you exercise some moderation.
He's already like beginning to open one of the bottles. No promises, partner.
Alrighty. I imagine you eventually make your way up to find out where the two ladies are.
Probably would be important.
Eventually, the three of you make your way upstairs, following the same path. Anderson, you being able to lead the two that have never been through this particular building fully before, and make your way into the familiar common area, the dining table, long wooden, with dozen chairs seated around it. Doesn't appear to be any sort of food in sight, but you do see Honora and Temperance mid conversation. We transition over to you two. Just kind of give me some cliff notes of what you were talking about in here.
Just some bonding.
Just some bonding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We did some mutual apologizing for behaviors. Talked a little bit about how shitty Barovia is. And then started discussing what we want to do next, but not very deep into that.
I think Honora passed a pair of jeans to Temperance.
Yes, there's some traveling pants going on. Absolutely.
Nice. Just as long as there's no traveling robes.
No.
Hey, you won this round?
Yeah.
Those are some. Sarah gets bonus points for getting that reference. Wow. That's like early 2000s. Maybe.
I'm old. What can I say?
Yeah.
Alrighty. The lot of you now making your way inside. I assume some form of candlelight, kind of keeping the room dimly lit, but enough for you to be able to be unhindered by the darkness.
Is there a curtain I can draw?
Like, sure. Yeah, it is equally dark outside. In fact, it is.
There's any windows in this room?
There is. There's one singular window.
Okay.
I draw the curtains.
Actually, it would be less of curtains and more of like shutters.
I draw the shutters.
Yeah. You kind of push the shutters open.
I push them closed.
Oh, you do close them?
I don't want the light to
okay.
alert anybody outside. That's
right.
my intention.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll even take my cloak and put it over like the little slats. I don't want anything escaping.
Okay.
I check the perimeter. Sounds like Remise and Anderson found some sort of contraption downstairs, perhaps a hidden tunnel, perhaps a secret compartment or something.
How exciting.
Well, they haven't figured it out yet. They heard some mechanical clicks.
That sounds weird.
Could have been a trap.
Could have been an escape route. Maybe he didn't get all of them.
Perhaps.
It's possible, I suppose.
We'll have to go down and investigate.
Hold on, let me get my armor back on.
10 minutes later.
Yeah.
It should be, it doesn't sound like there's any creatures or anything like that.
Does
So
all of
relevant.
this, the upstairs conversation, count as a short rest, John?
Yeah, what is it? It's an hour, right? Hour for a short rest? Yeah, they've been, you two get a short rest. Yeah, you two get a short rest.
Hell yeah.
I have some hit points that I need to regain.
It is definitely getting late. You guys have been traveling all day, coming from still, 3/4 of the way down Salenka Pass, all the way through, winding through the the woods and now getting here well into the evening, the fatigue is starting to hit. You do know that there's plenty of beds around for all of you to sleep comfortably. But, go ahead.
Speaking of well into the evening, could I have checked the well outside and seen if it had fresh water?
Would you have wine? A well of wine? That'd be awesome.
There's not.
Well,
We
Being
need water to make wine, though, Joseph.
going back to the part where Radovan was outside, looking down.
I control water too, so I can.
Oh, is that how you do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Controlling
doing
water.
a David Bowie with the balls and labyrinth thing.
Balls of water. Yeah.
Just in a Bowie mood.
Yeah, right.
Tara from.
I'm
last
eternally in a
Airbender.
Bowie mood.
You do find that it does have water. Whether it's fresh would be up to you to determine.
Can I determine that and like maybe use control water to try to distill it or
Taste it.
Does it work that way?
I don't know.
Don't be a coward. Taste it.
I don't
have,
detect poison or something.
or there's a purify water, I think.
Find
spell?
traps. There's a purify water spell.
Yes,
think
there
so.
definitely is.
Somewhere.
I think it's purify
If
food and water.
Oh.
If you move water at like an arc, like most water fountains do, you can do a lot of purification just by the end of that arc.
Really,
Yeah,
the
keep
particles are heavier than the water.
Yeah, a
and
lot of the goobers. Yeah.
Interesting.
They have done tests where like they'll take samples near the like spout.
Then
and
why
then
is
towards
it?
the end
Why
of it-
is it that it still tastes like shit coming from a
because
water
it doesn't
fountain?
make the flavor taste better.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
The
kill you.
minerals are still
So
there.
here's the arc of water. So you should be drinking down here.
It's fresh water. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
cover the fountain with your mouth.
No, you
Or
shouldn't.
should you be drinking it up
For the
here
arc,
at the
right.
top of the arc,
Either up here or over here, but not at the spout.
not at the spout.
Yeah.
But if you drink at
Important
the spout, you
information,
get
kids.
more.
You know,
Important information.
If you put your
this sounds
mouth
just too
over the
complicated, I'm
spout,
just gonna drink
you'll get all
water.
the
If I
water.
get sick, I get sick.
Well, you're gonna lap water like a dog. 'Cause, you know,
For the sake of simplicity, it's fresh water.
It's fresh. Okay. All right. I'll get some. I'll have some water. I'll bring some hungover people some water.
Are you just gonna bring it up like
Ew.
in your controlled water, or are you gonna place it into a container?
I'll maybe like look around and like get some glasses and like pour some water out, and then I'll be kind of excited and
Okay.
just about fresh water after a long day's journey.
Yeah, finding
Radovan?
some empty wine bottles you're able to bring a few, decently sized
Radovan?
things of water.
chunk.
Yes.
Magic word: 8 gallons of water.
Oh, jug of alchemy.
Yeah.
Well, the joke's on you because you could have used that for, I don't know.
Vinegar?
I was thinking oil.
But do
or-
we need oil?
I really like oil with bread. Some certain oils with bread is really good. Or cooking.
I don't think it's that kind of oil.
I don't think that we're going to be cooking tonight. I think it's going to be cold rations in bed.
Maybe. I could check the
Mm.
larder.
You covered up our window. You seem a little paranoid. Which, to be fair, you have completely right to be paranoid.
I
should have
can't
thought of
tell if
it.
you're insulting me or
No.
applauding my forethought.
Plotting your forethought. I'm so tired and so stressed. I should have thought of it myself, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not thinking of it.
I'm up in this room
Rest.
right now then. Sorry about that.
You're right.
Okay.
Did you just say you opened the windows?
No,
No,
he said
it's
he's
fun.
up in the room.
No, I
Um,
want the fresh air in the room. kind of claustrophobic in here, all these people and no fresh air.
Well, seeing that you're hurt I will cast some healing spells.
Oh, I feel better now. I've pressed the wound. You really don't want to utilize your magic if you don't have to.
After some meditation, I will regain my abilities, and I'll be able to hopefully conjure a feast for us tomorrow.
Oh, I appreciate that,
Modest
but
though it may be.
it's okay. I'm feeling much better now. Now that I've taken some time out to take care of
You get healed for.
I have 2 hit points left
2 hit points left, or 2
to
hit
heal.
points? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I took a short
Like,
rest
you
and I
need
used hit
some
dice.
healing, like right about meow.
You have a bit of a scratch left there.
Yeah.
I'll leave a wicked scar.
All right. How much do you overheal me by?
1,000,000.
You get 6 health points.
Okay. 2. Thank you. I feel better, but it was truly unnecessary.
Alrighty. What do you do?
Guess we should take watches.
I
If
can
you don't
take
wanna
first
go-
watch.
If you don't want to go into the basement, yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys found a contraption, is what Renovan said.
Oh yeah.
Something.
Something like that.
Is it something that
know.
maybe will look better in the light of day versus the middle of the night?
I mean,
I believe it's in the basement.
So
There's no
probably
light
not.
down there, so.
We don't know
I
where it
don't think
leads.
so.
The sun's rays do not reach the basement of this place.
It totally can. And I'll pull out the symbol of Ravenkind.
Well, yes, I believe you, Temperance, said you'd take first watch. If
I'll
you
do it.
want, if you'd like a little company, I can join you on this watch.
Sure, that's fine with me.
Who shall we wake?
Where are you sleeping?
The top
I
level.
see bedrooms.
Yeah. I'll sleep in the same bedroom I slept in last time I was here,
Okay.
which I think is the next one over.
Okay.
I will grab this rug and say there's quite a large bed in here, and I'll move this rug like maybe to the press over here and meditate in there.
So who's taking next watch? I mean, if nobody volunteers, I'll do it.
No, I can take next watch.
I can cover at least half the time of the night.
Fine. Then it'll be us, and then Anderson, and then we'll finish off with you, Radovan.
Very well.
Alrighty.
You rest, Nora.
Thank you. And in your head, I'm gonna message, keep an eye on him. And then I'm gonna go to bed.
And so.
Wait, you can use that on anybody?
Yeah. It's cantrip.
And so
Very
your
exciting.
watches begin. The three of you, is there anything you do before you fall asleep, or is it immediate hit the bed?
Probably lots of sobbing, but quietly to myself.
Anderson just kind of quietly goes into the room, and he's just exhausted, but just out of pure frustration, just punches the stone wall, and sits on the bed, begins to just sip the wine, and just tries his hardest to go to sleep.
Okay. The rest of you hearing shortly, after you go your separate ways into different rooms, hear a thud as Anderson punches the stone wall, not necessarily rattling the building, but definitely a
Just
thud.
a nice soft thud of meat on stone.
Yeah. And
Quite the contentious group that I found myself in.
Where
We
the
have better days. than
where are the
worse.
two of you starting your watch? Are you staying up in this balcony area? Are you patrolling? What are you doing?
I would probably want to walk up and down the hallway, and keep the bedroom doors open.
Why
I
keep the
don't-
bedroom doors open?
No,
Uh,
Anderson is gonna keep his closed.
Yeah, Honora needs some privacy right now too. No.
Yeah.
Well, after hearing the clunk, Radovan will leap into Anderson's room. And, are you all right?
Do I look all right to you?
Is
You
this
see
some
what it
kind
means
of
by
joke?
I'm frustrated, Radovan. That's all.
So you...
I
What happened to the
vent in
wall?
the wall? Yes, that was me.
The
Out of
two of you
frustration,
should
you-
probably get some sleep, some rest.
I'm fine, Radovan. Thank you.
All right.
It's best just to leave them to themselves for tonight.
So, I guess I could understand maybe one's hostility towards me, but is it fair to assume that I've noticed a little hostility towards you and from you?
I'm not interested in talking about myself right now. I missed your introduction. Tell me about yourself. Tell me why you're here and wandering around with the rest of us.
That's right, you were tucked in the corner there a little bit, weren't you? Well, where would you like me to start? How I wandered upon you? How I wandered in here? How I've started?
Sure. How you wandered upon us is a good start.
Well, you have a friend that I came across, and he very quickly, might I add, disappeared.
Can I actually ask you something about that?
Certainly.
Did he mention me before he left? I know he and Honora have been having this whole thing, but I thought that we were friends and
He was not particularly chatty to me. He was mumbling some things. Don't know who or what he was talking to aloud, but the little fight that he had prior probably shook him up a little bit. It's honestly kind of startling seeing such a small creature handling himself out in the woods like that. I didn't know what to make of it at first, but no, I'm sorry that he didn't mention anybody's name.
I understand. So you, why, how do you wander into a mountain and find us? What?
Well, he gave me his pack and told me approximately where you were at. He was a little scatterbrained, kind of going off in multiple tangents, really. It's really hard to make heads or tails about which conversation he was having at any point. But I thought it best to return this stuff to all of you.
So you didn't come upon all of us. You found him already leaving, or he was already gone.
Well, it did take me a little bit of time to
get back up the mountain, yes. So,
Well, I suppose we should thank you for doing the honest thing and giving us stuff back.
I thought it'd be the right thing to do, so you're welcome. So I feel that maybe meant something to you a little bit.
So then, here, this world, how did you wander through the mist? Did you
Uh, that one.
Are you as trapped as the rest of us, or is there a reason?
Well, I guess I am trapped. I didn't realize that I couldn't make my way out, at least immediately, but I figured I'd find my way out if permitted so. That is a little bit more of a complicated story. One that involves a little bit more of my background. And I'll go in a little bit of detail about the spirit guides and our function. And really, I'm here to prove myself.
Prove yourself? Prove yourself to who?
To my elders, to the people that trained me, to the people that have passed on.
Well, I can't pretend I'll understand that, but
I come from a little village, and
so do I. And if I had tried to prove myself to my elders, I would be in a far worse position than I am. So,
well, your elders still live then.
no.
Oh, then perhaps we are in the same boat. My little village was destroyed. And I was found. Much as I found them, another group found me. And I've been with them since. And perhaps I found you. And I'll be with you for a little bit. If everybody else in the group permits it.
Well, you certainly seem to have won over Anderson.
I think that's more a kindred spirit kind of thing. Very adamant on taking Strahd's head, that one.
Yes, he's very into taking the heads of those he
It's not the first time then.
No.
I see.
No, we fought a necromancer that he took the head from.
I can't say that I understand the practice of taking
That's
heads.
right? He did take the head, right? I'm remembering that correctly.
I took his like amulet. I think. I don't think I took his head.
Was it just an amulet? I thought you chopped off his head.
Oh, I mean, if there was a head, I would have chopped it up, but I don't think I.
I don't
He has a
remember.
vampire head in his backpack, though. So
Yes,
He
I
does.
did have the vampire head in my backpack.
I don't know about the vampire.
that was before you joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like classic Anderson.
Yeah, he didn't keep the head. It was just some
He
sort
didn't
of
keep the head?
amulet
Okay.
to distinguish.
He might have chopped it off, though.
Oh, he
I
probably
feel like
chopped
I
it off.
remember
Like, I'm not
chopping it
down
It's a
off.
with
safe
that.
assumption. Anderson's always trying to get.
Okay, he chopped off the head. He didn't keep the head.
Get ahead of the situation. Oh, we lost his.
Joseph died
Oh,
again.
my Joseph.
He's back again.
Oh, what the hell?
I can't
I'm
say
sorry.
I understand
Okay.
the practice of taking heads, but
Alrighty.
it's fine.
You two have been chatting for a while, somewhat distracted. Go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage.
I will use. Do I still have my inspiration that you threatened to take away from me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I'll
I
give
will
you
use
my
it to.
inspiration.
There we go. To roll
All right.
straight.
Because if I don't use it now, I'm never gonna remember to use it.
Exactly.
All right, Temperance, roll one more time for me.
Oh, I thought I had to do a disadvantage originally.
Oh, that's right. You are correct. You are correct. Okay.
Okay.
An inspiration for
Yeah.
Inspiration for
remembering the
correcting you.
rules.
A 15 does not hear. A 25, however, even from 2 stories up, makes out. It's almost even more of a feeling than it is hearing. As you're standing there, you feel the grinding of stone from below.
Please fall into the trap. Please fall into
You
the
don't
trap.
feel that, do you?
Hear what?
Get Anderson. Now. And I will begin. Oh shit! I'm going to make my way this way. Bow out.
Okay.
And I will begin to quietly, stealthily, if I may say so, try to make my way down the stairs.
All right, give me a stealth check.
Temperance is shaking Anderson awake.
Is it my turn to watch already?
We're close enough, but Ramiz heard something. I don't know.
Where?
He wanted me to get you.
I've got a bad feeling about this. All right. Anderson gets up and he wasn't told it was in the basement, but I feel like that's where he would likely hear something. Is that like a safe assumption?
I mean, you're in your character's head. If that's where you think that the action would
If
be.
I look down to like the second level, I don't see him, right? Because that would be the first thing Anderson would do. Just like peering over the edge.
Yeah, peering over the edge, you do not see him.
Okay. Then yeah, he would probably put 2 and 2 together and go to the basement then.
Okay. Alrighty.
Temperance will follow both of them, I guess.
And is this staircase the closest way to the basement?
I'm assuming that's where I came up, and I eventually made my way upstairs.
That is correct. You did.
I had to disappear for a minute. Again, apologize.
No, you're fine. Yes, you did make your way up. I think you made. I don't think you took the stairs the entire way up. I think you took it up one floor and then left out through the door to meet Anderson in the middle room. But you could assume that these stairs go all the way up and all the way down because you were in that stairwell.
I'm just looking for the shortest route to the basement.
Yeah, you would probably fall in line behind in that southwestern stairwell. Ramiz, as you get about halfway down, getting to the first kind of landing before you continue your descent into the basement, you hear below you now the quickened shuffling of feet. and now kind of moving in the opposite direction.
So it's moving away from me.
From below you. Like as you start to go down into the basement, you can hear the sounds of the shuffling feet moving further away.
I will quicken my step.
Alrighty. Definitely turning it kind of out of the stealth range, having rolled a 10 on the first one anyways. You're now kind of taking the steps by 2, getting all the way down to the basement. And just at the very last second, you can see a cloaked figure. It's a cloak kind of billowing behind it as it is running up the smooth side of the ramp way on the other side.
Stop! I mean you no harm unless you keep moving. And I keep making my way towards him. Or it, whatever the billowing cloak guy is.
I think shouting that anybody who's sleeping lightly, so probably Radovan, I don't think you were woken up, but just in your meditative state, you probably would have been woken up by the commotion from below. Anderson and Temperance, having heard that from the stairwell headed down, you definitely would have heard it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my 45 walk speed to work here and just book it down the stairs to where I heard that.
Alrighty, booking it
I'm
downstairs.
just running, but
Now, Ramiz, having seen that, how do you anticipate to counter? Are you going to straight follow directly after? Or are you going to take a different path?
When Radovan said he was doing a perimeter search,
Mm-hmm.
was he just looking around, and would he have shared any information about the layout of the property by chance? Okay.
Yeah, as far as the layout of the property, you kind of got a glimpse of it as you were walking up to it. He didn't really talk about, or even, I think, explore on the inside. You know just as well as he does the layout of the inside of the building.
Okay, then I will just keep following said creature.
Alrighty.
Oh, wait, what's going on here? I'm looking at my spells, see if there's anything else that I can do here. Oh, did I really use all my second level spells? I did. Fuck me. Yeah. I will keep going and yeah. Yep, that's.
Okay.
I'll just keep following him, and
I will. Oh, okay.
I'll just keep telling the hooded figure to stop.
Okay.
Can I hear that or no? Do I just hear there's a commotion?
I mean, you hear the shouting of "Stop! I mean you no harm. Stop!"
Then I'll follow Anderson if he's heading down that way, I guess.
Okay.
Wherever the commotion's going.
Yeah, hearing the pattering of the quickly going down the wooden floor and eventually down the stone staircase in the southeast or southwestern corner. Ramiz, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Come on, roll better. Fuck off.
Okay.
ouch.
I will use my ring to automatically save that.
Okay, so you just automatically succeed?
Yes.
Okay. As you are running up this somewhat smooth spiral rampway, you slip and immediately grab onto the stone wall and pull yourself back up, catching yourself. However, you hear above you slipping and down the stairwell or the rampway. You eventually see the humanoid figure still kind of facing the ground slide into your legs. You still basically holding onto the rock. have the choice to either ride him down, hop over top of him, like. But you can see that he is falling. He is not regaining his composure.
Okay. I'm assuming that Anderson and, well, maybe Temperance. I don't know at this point. I just told her to get Anderson.
Trying.
But I would
Yeah.
assume that maybe Anderson is probably close behind.
Yeah,
So
they're
I
down
will
in
let
the cellar, but
Yeah.
they're not over to the ramp that you are.
That's fine. I'll let the hooded figure slide past me,
Okay.
and then I will stay right by him.
Okay.
This guy didn't try to make any swing at me or anything like that on his way down, did he?
He doesn't have, like, he is trying to gain his composure and grab a hold of something. He does kind of make a couple attempts to, like, use you as leverage to try to pull himself back up. But as soon as he realizes it's another human figure, he quickly lets go, and if anything, kind of shoves off of you to try to escape further down, back into the cellar.
Okay, I'll keep my bow out still, but I'll slide right behind him.
Okay. Making your way back down, and Anderson and Temperance quickly behind. Ramiz sliding down afterwards, kind of bow drawn, pointing it at him, to where once you both get to the base of the ramp, you all kind of meet together, and immediately he pops up and kind of scurries backwards, his ass kind of on the ground, legs outstretched. You can't really make out his face, especially because it's dark. Radovan, or not Radovan, but Ramiz, you can a little bit. Anderson and Temperance, you would have to be lighting a torch. Is that something that you would have done on your way down?
And we're not trying to be stealthy, so probably.
Okay, yeah, the torchlight, even, this is a deeply hooded cowl that he's just pressed back up against. You can hear the wine bottles kind of clattering behind his back as he's resting up against the shelving. Please, don't hurt me.
Where did you come from and who are you?
You're not with Strahd, are you?
No.
Quite the opposite.
I'm Adrian Mardakov, son of Davian, brother to Erwin. I was wounded here and a coward. My wife and children, they were taken. But I thought I couldn't be of any help just being another one of Strahd's thralls, and I escaped down here thinking I could formulate a plan, but I was hurt. I've been down here for...
that I heard on the walls.
Yes. I thought for certain I had given myself away, and not knowing who it was, I tried to escape in the night, and you clearly heard me.
Take the arrow out of the notch, and I'll stop pointing the bow at him. I have no interest in hurting you. Anderson, do as you see fit.
No, I ain't gonna hurt you. Just, can you tell us exactly what happened here?
Let's take a quick potty break,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back and tell you guys everything.
The last conversation about Anderson is how he like takes off people's heads, and you're like, I have no wish to hurt you. Anderson, do as you see fit.
how many feet?
I don't know. It's 0.3 miles. Point 3.
5,280 feet
That-
a mile, so that is
It's more than
just under
500
2,000.
yards.
Yes. There you
Okay.
go. We're good.
But it's 2 blocks, so.
That's good. We're good. We're good. Don't worry. You just have to tell me where said school is so I can drive around it.
Yeah.
Give it a wide berth.
All right.
None of this is being recorded, right?
Oops.
Now
The
you're
very
at
end of it. Yeah, the very end of it.
Yes! Oh, shit.
Oh, buddy.
What is going to happen to me now? I don't know.
John, as long as you don't live close to a school, it's all good. Just don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yep, there you go. Fantastic.
All right, I'm going back to sleep, I guess.
Alrighty.
No one wanted to bother Honora.
Poor Honora.
She had a big day.
She had a big 24 hours. Issues right
Should
now.
wake the little ones.
You had asked
They'll take care of everything.
what happened.
Yeah.
Well, Anderson was about to take the head of this guy, and we're about to all call it a night.
After,
There you go.
after.
They had been watching us for weeks. I could see them lurking in the woods. We sent a few of them out. I mean, by them, I've sent a few of us out. Try to warn the others. Stay away. But eventually Strahd himself came. All of his minions from the woods with him. He came asking for the last few barrels of wine and for all of us to come assist at his wedding, preparing new batches of wine, creating a vineyard there on his premises. And after protest, he didn't have any of it. Eventually, the bloodshed started. I hurried my wife and children into the house. But eventually, we were overrun. I fled to the basement. After I saw him turning the dead, fear set in. I didn't want to end up like them. I knew that he had captured my wife and children alive, and I just wanted to stay alive too. But I knew I wouldn't be able to do anything from inside. I thought I'd be able to find some allies outside and be able to find a way to break them free, to stop it all.
Can you remind me, John?
Yes.
I'm having a bit of trouble. Did we meet him?
During the beginning, when you first arrived, Davian had flown in from the trees. And when you were very first coming on site, you had met Adrian and several of the others, although they were never given names. Muriel was one of them, but she came in later that next day when she was reporting back about the Druid Circle.
He was writing to him in a book, and then he's like, "Oh, I can send for my son to help you guys teleport around."
That was Erwin that he sent the message to.
So
so there's two
we've only
sons?
seen this guy like
Yes.
briefly then.
So, yeah. And even then, like, you never really fully introduced.
So Erwin is not Danica's, or is
Erwin is Danica's
husband, and they have kids. And then Adrian is
Erwin's brother.
Adrian is Erwin's brother? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
look, there probably wasn't a whole lot you could do. Probably smart of you to stay down here, if I'm being honest. Um, Look, I don't know if you remember me and I gesture to Temperance, but we were sent out to try to help you guys about 3 months ago, if you remember.
We ended up going back after Irwin had reported that you were failed.
Yeah,
But the stone
we did.
was recovered.
Um, I have the stone.
You don't know as Radovan, but Joseph knows that there were 3 stones in total. Yeah.
Wait, there were 3, but there are 2 missing, and
Yes.
they still had 1 though. Okay.
The druids had one. There was one in Lasaga's
Yep.
tree.
And then they still had 1 left.
Yes.
Okay. So we're just missing the ones from the druids then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But now, Strahd has the stone. That's how he's going to be able to make the wine at Ravenloft.
Oh man.
We have this stone. I'll pull out the green gem. Taken from the witch. She's dead.
Good news. I'm afraid. Not much use right now if no one's here to make wine.
Doesn't have any other use besides making wine.
It's... From what I understand, when the curse fell over these lands, it rendered a lot of the crops barren, unable to produce. I know that it possesses great magical power for anything nature. Brings fertility to these lands that allows us to create the vineyards that we have here. And as you well know, with the Druid Circle and what they were using it for, I don't know anything outside of that.
What were they using it for? What's happened to them?
There was really they were trying to use it to animate another wooden figure, similar to the way I forgot the name of the tree.
Oh, Lasaga's tree?
No,
The blight tree.
the Gulthias tree. Similar to the way that the Gulthias tree was animated.
Alright, well, so most of your kind have been taken to the castle. suppose we already knew that.
What are you gonna do? Is there any way that I can help?
Are you still being watched?
Not that I can see.
Do you have any friends outside of here?
I heard the commotion from last night. People speaking. I imagine that was you. And then a few hours later, I heard you all exploring down here in the cellar. As far as friends, I don't know. I don't know if my brother Erwin is still okay, or his wife or children.
Where would they be holed up? You said your father was Davian. Where's he?
I don't know if he's alive or dead, but he is with Strahd.
Yeah, Ravenloft.
As for Erwin, and I heard Valaki was overrun. While it's peaceful, they repurpose their inn, turning it into an abomination.
What do you mean? A brothel, or a place for cultists to meet?
Carnal,
Abomination's kind of vague.
carnal pleasures, dipped in the filth of vampiric undertones. I've not went myself, but heard rumors of them offering eternal youth, allowing people to drink from the blood of Strahd.
Sounds like a place we need to burn down.
Multiple times, yes. Now, I don't suppose it's easy for you to get to Valaki, is it?
I can fly, but I can't fly you all.
No, not like that. Maybe deliver a message?
I can try, if that's what you need me to do.
You wouldn't happen to know where Ismark is, would you?
I don't. Ever since Vasily became the burgomaster, Ismark had kind of disappeared.
That's unfortunate. By the way, in case you weren't in the know, Vasily is Strahd himself.
And he takes a moment to think about it, and then kind of resigns to the fact of having should have known this, knowing that Strahd has the ability to take many forms. That's explains a lot then, knowing the current state of Valaki.
Seems our list of allies goes thin.
Yeah, seems like it.
We're at the end of the tail end of a long day ourselves, so perhaps we should continue our rest and make war plans in the morning.
Agreed.
Sorry.
Anderson gestures to him and just says, "Look, I don't know what you can do right now, but just stay safe, please."
You said you wanted me to deliver a message. Was it just to Ismark then?
I don't know who else I can contact in Valaki. I don't know who's alive, who's dead.
I can try to search, but if if I did find him, what message would you like me to relay?
Simple one. If you find him, just say, tell him Anderson says, we're back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will he know who we are?
Just tell him the name Anderson.
Okay.
You'll know who I am.
All right. I will do that. And I was feeling brave enough to try to flee the premises. My wounds have almost healed. I think in the cloak of night, I will try to depart right now. The premises have been relatively safe. It's just my cowardice has kept me in the basement, trying to devise a plan, but...
Look, you're doing all you can to survive. Honestly, I think that's what any of us would do.
Maybe an interesting question. How did you get into the walls of the place?
If you remove the wine bottle from 346 vintage, it will open. Once I was on the inside, I sealed it shut again. So out of character, the reason why it didn't work was you placed it in rearming, but you never pulled the bottle back out.
Ah! Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's why I asked you one time, did you leave the bottle in the because I wanted to make sure that if you didn't just put it in and pull it back out, that I didn't miss it.
Fucking well played.
He said he's wounded?
He was wounded. His wounds have healed. He's still...
Healing word.
Okay.
6 hit points regained.
Okay. Thank you. I will do what I can, and if I do find his mark and he asks me to relay a message back to you, where could I expect to find you? Where will you be?
Where are
Honestly,
we going next?
Well, I think we're heading to Argynvostholt next. But
We've got
I
a
don't know
skull
how long
delivery to
we'll be
make.
there. Yeah. I don't know how long we're going to be there, though. We're going to be traveling around a lot. I'm not sure where you'll be able to find us.
I'll keep my ear to the winds.
Do you
Stay
know of
safe.
anyone else who's brave enough, strong enough to resist Strahd? If Olaki is fallen and taken by the enemy, and your people are wiped out, and my brethren are certainly too weak, who else is there?
Well, what about the werewolves? They could still be around.
The werewolves do have some numbers, and they are strong. I haven't visited in quite some time, but there are mongrel folk in Kresk, led by the abbot, who kind of runs the place. I don't know their allegiance. They've kept to themselves, but it is possible the abbot is a weird, otherworldly fellow. He might be swayed. Outside of that, just finding a way to potentially unite the people of Volaki and whatever's left of Barovia that had fallen since their first attempt at overtaking Castle Ravenloft. even if they would be able to deal with the Vistani that seem to have allegiance with Strahd. Could probably be of help to you all.
Well, something's better than nothing, I suppose.
Right.
Let's get some rest.
Adrian bows and puts his cloak back up over his head, takes the normal stairs back up through the glass blowing shop and out into the night.
As he's leaving, Anderson just says, "Wait, one more thing."
Yes.
Adrian, I'm really sorry we failed. It ain't gonna happen again.
Deep breath, and you can see tears forming in his eyes. Neither will I. He just transforms into a were-raven and off into the night.
I don't see any arrows hit the raven as he flies off, do I?
Honora's asleep, so that was a deep cut.
Oh, well, that's not where I was going, but
yeah. If you watch the raven fly off, give me a perception check.
Oh, sure. I'll give you another one. At least I like rolling that one. I just wish my numbers were better.
18 is still dope, though.
Yeah.
See it fly up high enough to kind of get the vantage point. You can see it against the dark gray contrast of the sky, kind of dimly lit by the remnants of a moon behind the clouds. For as long as you can see it in the sky before it dips down into the black horizon of the tree, the woods out in front of you, it is still flying kind of northeast.
Anderson just kind of has his head hung low, just without saying another word, just slowly climbs back up the stairs and into his bedroom.
Okay. That did end.
He's on watch next, so he's probably just gonna hang out.
Okay. For the sake of brevity, because I don't have any encounters planned.
Joseph, stop dying.
Joseph, I get real tired of resurrecting your ass. Hurry up.
Is there anything in particular that you wanted to do for the Night's Watch? Or do you want to fast forward through the long rest?
Honestly, Anderson's not going to do much. He's just going to kind of sit and think about things, but nothing in particular.
Eventually, waking up Radovan. Radovan, is there anything that you would do during the night before we give everyone the benefit of a long rest?
No, probably just check out the rooms. I get fascinated by the sand.
Yeah, fascinated by the sand in the glass blowing area.
Nobody's around for it though. Get really into the sand because I've never seen the ocean.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I imagine they still probably have sand.
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
Just at the wine. Just at the.
All right. Yeah. Nice.
Sand only comes in from the ocean, so there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently.
There's an ocean somewhere that we don't know about.
Like lakes.
There's
that one, that ocean.
no the sand at the lake is like.
It's too coarse.
It's like that chunky.
Coarse.
Yeah, it's really
It's
chunky.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It gets everywhere.
Fucking
Gets everywhere.
dude.
What
Pebbly.
is happening
It's
right now?
Like thick pebble chunks.
Yeah.
It's got a while
Why
before
are
it
we
becomes
Star Warsing?
this fine grain.
Because why not?
And this
Question
is
is,
some
why are you
choice
not?
sand.
You know, you just sit there in your yellow hoodie and you just think about Lord of the Rings or something like that. That's fine.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna just keep thinking about Bowie, baby.
There you go.
You all gain the benefits of a long rest.
Yay!
Yay.
Honora, you're the first to wake, having been the most well rested. Radovan already being up from his watch after only needing
It's not a bad.
a quick 4-hour meditation.
Gross. I don't think anybody wants me to bunk with them, so I'd probably be in the master bed then.
Sure.
Just for future
100%
context,
of the shots
doesn't
heal
the
okay?
doesn't the meditation need to be uninterrupted?
Yeah, but for 4
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
just
the
4
two
hours.
washes,
You do
you
it.
had Remise and Temperance, and then.
But Radovan
Anderson.
woke up mid.
Yeah, but there's plenty of time that I would have been able to had to. I mean, if we had to, we could have woken up Honora. That was our.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna worry about it. But anyways, it just popped into my head.
Plenty of time.
You're all awake. The light is barely making its way through the shutters of your bedrooms. But the day is yours. The skull's still where you left it last. No one knows.
Outside in the cart, wrapped in a wolf skin. Ideally, I don't know.
Is it still there?
I'll have to go find out, I guess.
Yeah, it's still there.
So we're just
Yay.
gonna head straight to Argynvostholt today. Return the skull. Oh, we gotta deal with the revenants. Are they gonna be just as nice to us again?
What?
What do you mean,
Right.
what?
So we're giving the skull back to some knights of Argynvost. But they might have died a long time ago.
And they stay dead.
No.
Right.
Oh, definitely not. Nothing stays dead in Barovia. But we did talk them down from being hostile. It's not us that they want, it's Strahd. We might be able to get to the end of March with us. There's some allies we didn't even think about.
Yeah. They're gonna be grateful for the skull, that's for sure.
And all that we went through to get it, I think if we told them, after returning the scroll that their revenge was near, there's a chance they might join us in battle.
If you remember, I'm trying to remember what I had told you.
Poem. Promise.
I believe when they talked about returning the skull, it would also set their spirits free.
Okay, well, there goes that plan.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because
Ooh.
Gwillem had told Vladimir that he was tired of fighting. And that was part of the reason why he gave you guys the amulet.
Guide.
Yeah, because they weren't willing to take down Strahd because they thought that this was a good enough punishment for him, basically.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, they said,
So.
we're not going to kill Strahd. In fact, we're going to stop anybody that tries to kill Strahd because this is punishment for everything that he's done, living in eternal torment for doing the bad stuff. And so...
sacrificing hundreds
yeah.
and thousands of innocent to Strahd's madness. Yes. I remember now. Oh well, anyways, so...
So, returning the skull to them would
Free their
Put them
spirits.
at ease.
The enemy of my enemy could still be my enemy, but it'll be one less enemy.
Well, they won't stop us. They won't get in our way now.
But let me find the note.
The note. Not the letter, but a separate note.
No, the one that what's his butt had.
Yeah.
Our dead cleric.
Um.
You realize that all the
Our other
clerics that
dead
have joined this campaign have unexpectedly disappeared and or died.
Yeah.
Letter to
Two so
Argynvost.
far.
I fear that I have failed.
Three.
I have failed the people of Barovia.
DJ's a cleric.
On the third.
No, but you said have died or disappeared. Did he die during the potty break?
Not yet. I'm just
Not yet. You don't know.
foreshadowing.
You don't know what's going on with my character. Is that the letter you're talking about, John?
I'm
The letter to Argynvost?
thinking so. I have stashed all that is important to our cause where only the dead may see until light shines on their faces again. I don't think that's it. We can continue on, and as soon as I find it, I'll let you know.
No,
So-
it's the surrounded letter. Oh wait, I have stashed. Yes, all that is important to our cause. Yes, correct. It's
So,
the letter that you gave us.
I say we hoof it to Argynvostholt first, as fast as we can. And then, you guys had mentioned wanting to go to Vallaki. Not sure why. If Strahd has it under his influence, there's not a whole lot we're going to be able to do there.
Oh. I only speak for myself when I say this, but when our friend said that Vallaki has become a city of decadence for vampire kind and their...
Who said that? What do you mean?
Oh, you weren't there. We ran into the son of Davian.
Where?
Remember that noise in the
This was last
basement?
night.
No. What are you guys
slept
talking
through it.
about?
It's all right.
You needed your
Yes.
rest.
There was a straggler left
Is-
behind.
One of the Roven kind?
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Adrian.
There you go. I knew it began with an A.
Still didn't get them all. I don't know if
Oh.
that's hopeful or sad.
He said some of them are held up in Ravenloft as well.
Well, we knew that. Strahd told us that.
Well, confirmed it at least, so at least it's not Strahd dangling carrots in front of us. But
Strahd is never really known to be a liar.
regardless,
twisted.
Except for when he
and
lied to us
evil.
about brainwashing Irina. The fight with him, the very first one.
He didn't lie to us about brainwashing her at that point. I think he fully admitted it.
No, he denied it, but he cast some kind of spell on her.
anyway, I would personally enjoy a trip to this Vallaki to bring down this house of sin.
We have
that-
2 weeks before Irina is trapped against her will, most likely, to a madman.
I do believe she is already trapped against her will.
Her body, maybe, but not her soul.
You know, it might be an interesting bargaining chip. Not that I'm well versed in these matters, but the revenants of Argynvost
Mhm.
want to make sure that this place is a torturous place for him. If he's getting married in 2 weeks, it sounds like they're not succeeding.
His only, as far as we've understood, reading his diary, his only obsession is Irina, and he's been thwarted time and time and time and time again. And I think that's his torture. And so yes, I think he's closer to getting her what he thinks he wants more than he ever has been before.
So, what
So we need
stands in its
more-
way?
Right now, I don't think anything does.
Well, we
And
might
I'm
not
not
have the
sure.
whole picture, but
I'm not
that might be a good way to persuade the Revenants that some action might be needed.
I agree with the Revenants. I still don't understand why detouring and spending time in a city that is run by Strahd is a
That's
good
why I
idea.
changed the subject of the conversation.
Look, and it's not really even about Velaki. We just feel it's important we at least find Ismark. That's where he was last.
I'm trying to get us to focus on first things first. Let's get the skull over there. Maybe we'll get more information.
I agree with Radovan.
Locky
It's out
might
of
be a
our
good
hands
place
anyway.
to get more information, though it sounds dangerous.
Well, we didn't make it this far by playing it safe.
We also didn't make it this far by being stupid either, Anderson.
It's not being stupid, it's finding people who can help us. Ismark can help us.
You saw him fight.
Are you going to abandon him?
I didn't say that. You just seem to put a lot of stock in him.
He's our best bet.
For what?
Getting allies, knowing people. He knows what happened more here than any of us. He can maybe fill us in on a few things.
But wasn't the last bit of information we had that he wasn't in Velaki? Or that he was working for Strahd? It was that he was working for Strahd. But that came from Strahd.
We don't know the full story. That's
I know
why
we
we're
don't.
gonna go in and figure it out once we're done here in Argynvostholt.
We'll talk about it after Argynvostholt. I'm not sure I
If you
agree
want to
with
come
you.
up with a better idea, I'm all ears. But let's get the skull going first.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go.
Setting off with the wagon, skull in tow, back through the Svalich woods and onto the road, winding. Let's
Back to the world map.
yes, let us actually. We are going to go straight to Argynvost.
It's only like a day, right?
Making my way downtown.
I think it's like less than a day, actually.
It takes you probably, the road's pretty easy going. Not a lot of elevation change into the last leg. Probably about the last third of the trail. It does still take probably 7 or 8 hours worth of traveling, which is a lot of walking on foot, and especially when you're having to both pull and help push this cart through the dirt path. But you do eventually make your way to Argynvostholt.
Yay, we're here.
As you approach again, now from kind of the west, as it's curving around, you can see the once or the ruined tower and the entire southern portion of the building destroyed, and as well as the stables that were down there before. What is your intent here? You still have the cart with the wagon, remembering that the let me see if I can find. Here lie the bones and treasures of Argynvost, Lord of Argynvostholt and founder of the Order of the Silver Dragon. That had been written in the mausoleum that was in the northeast corner of the map, back there in the cemetery, only accessible from inside the grounds. Would you end up walking through the building in order to get there? Would you try climbing over the tower or the fence again?
I think we just walk inside normally, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any point in sneaking around. Like, I want to just say we take the front door.
As you make your steps in up the
Remember the trap, though, so we're going to avoid that.
Oh, yes.
Well, hadn't it already been triggered or something?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It refreshes, but the triggering of the trap, just the dragon blows cold air. It's the magic has since worn. But it's the entire plate in front of the main entrance. But you eventually push your way through the double front doors and happen to be met by Sir Godfrey Gwillem as he is descending the stairs. Oh, good you've returned. It's been so long I've almost forgotten it, given up hope. But it seems that you've brought the skull.
We have.
Yeah, well, very long story short. Yes, we do have the skull.
And you see Godfrey look back, the towering presence of Vladimir coming down the stairs, ghostly form still rattling with his half-plate armor. I suppose this is it then. You intend to place the bones back in the mausoleum.
That's what you require of us.
It is not what I would wish, but... He reaches out, grabbing the hand of Godfrey. It is what he wishes for us all.
Would you guys be willing to do one last fight? If it meant peace not only for you, but for everybody involved? I don't know if you've heard, but Strahd's getting married. Less than 2 weeks' time.
You see his fist clench. Even the one that's holding Godfrey's hand, you can see a grimace come across Godfrey's face as he tries to bring the other hand up to calm his love. What would you have us do?
Distraction? Disrupt the wedding? Allow us to get close so we can end it?
Help us storm the castle, and we'll find a way to put an end to Strahd.
Godfrey looks at him and shakes his head. Vladimir then turns to you. That would mean that you would not be able to place the bones back into their rightful place.
Not until he's gone.
You do understand with the reason that it was taken. The boon that it gave the entire land. Anyone who was left here to bask in the light of Argynvost himself, the spirit of the Silver Dragon.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, there was something that I got out of the ask. Or was it divine? Like divine, some kind of thing about the skull, didn't I?
Yeah. Just basically that being able to return the bones back to the mausoleum would allow a beacon of light to spread across the land. Basically, granting you a powerful boon.
Granting us a powerful.
Everyone in Barovia.
The land, yeah.
Do they know? Sorry, do they know specifically, or just in general? It's just a boon for.
I mean,
we don't know exactly.
They're not going to tell you that it gives everybody plus 5 HP or
Well,
anything.
Nice. It would help their case.
Yeah, like I mean, they don't know, but they we are strong. Those of us that are still around. But inspired numbers would be greater to your cause.
So this will bring hope to the people around here.
I imagine it would probably resonate of a time when there was still a force of good.
This sounds like what we are trying to do. I mean, the way I see it, people around here, people at this land are beaten down. Maybe if we do put the skull back, they may be more willing to help us. All the people.
You. Wait, who are we speaking to? The
You
head
have
lord guy.
Vladimir Horngard is the one that's telling you right now that
Okay.
it would be a powerful boon to everyone. He's still currently holding the hand of his love, Sir Godfrey Gwillem.
You said you have spies throughout the land, your agents going about. How much do you know about this wedding that's happening? Or the state of the lands, the plague, and whatever sickness was happening in the village of Barovia?
The village of Barovia is in complete shambles. I'm not sure what sickness ailed them, but what left of them fled to Vallaki. The rest that remained there creatures of undead, zombies, slow, mindless.
And what of the other village? Is it Kursk?
Kresk.
Kresk?
The abbot, he's a holy man. He's
A holy man, yet he's surrounded by these mongrel folk. They seem like abominations to me.
They are people, just like you, all with their own free will, able to choose what side they fight for. The curse that is inflicted upon them from times of old. Saint Markovia trying to cure people. An ailment long forgotten. It's turned into experiments that created these mongrel folk. That's why if you've ever seen them, they're combinations, monstrosities of different animals and, well, left to breeding. Of course, you can see what sort of additional interesting combinations that would create. Those
Such
mongrel folk
experiments
are...
sound unnatural to me.
Absolutely
Classic.
they are, but they're no longer welcome in the rest of the lands. Fearful of them.
Wait, Mongols like. John, can you give me a description of Isaac again?
Isaac was
It's probably closer to what's his butt in his castle.
it is.
Strahd.
Oh God, why am I?
It's so funny because I just looked up the episode where you last tried to recall him, and this exact thing happened.
Is
Sarah
the
referred to him as "What's his butt?" John also was like, "Oh my god."
give me a second. Main floors.
Cyrus.
Yeah,
Cyrus
Cyrus
Bellevue?
Bellevue. Yes,
No.
it is Cyrus. Yeah, because that's exactly what I did. Cyrus Bellevue. No, that's the Vampire Slayer name. Anyways, and then you're like, no, it's not Bellevue. It's something else.
It's Cyrus Bellevue.
Yeah.
He's the mongrel.
Yes, Cyrus Bellevue is the mongrel folk. Had like the human
The
slash yes, the butler, the hunched back, and the webbed duck foot, along with like the all sorts
Tell
of.
me you remember, Andrew. Your eyes are searching. Okay.
Yeah. I just like to remember him as Temperance's boyfriend.
Oh yeah, that has
We'll
been
see your girlfriend Gertruda soon too.
Oh
a
yeah.
really
what's up?
interesting subplot that's been developing steadily.
Let's get
But
that.
I mean, if we go to a town with more mongrel folk, sounds like there's going to be some competition.
There we go.
No.
Yeah, there's Cyrus again, looking like a beast.
Hottie.
God,
Yeah.
that he is.
So sexy, my god.
Anyways,
How does anyone keep their hands off of him?
That
He's
left
gonna be to a wedding
leg.
soon, I think.
Yeah.
where were we? We were talking about Kresk.
No, we were discussing that the guy was gonna leave, and then we were gonna talking about putting the skull, pros and cons of putting the skull away or not.
Yeah, and we were also talking about potential allies.
Yeah.
Got us talking about Kresk.
Oh,
Holy
I
Man.
do remember.
But what's a holy man doing with?
There has been some additional activity of people from the outside being escorted in by Vistani, touting lavish imports from far lands. Looking over to Honora, I haven't seen many of your kind before. In fact, probably only you. Looking around.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't seen any since we joined Kim to town either. I just kind of brush over it.
I did see two of your kind traveling in as well. I don't know if you're all related or...
No.
That's racist.
Some halfway
It'd be
races
funny if they
maybe?
were related,
Biologically correct.
We
You go
might
back
be, I
far
don't know.
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know.
Right. Yeah, we all look the same. It's fine.
But there were...
There's hundreds of thousands of my kind across the free lands outside of Barovia. Your land that is sheathed in human folk.
Well, I pray to the Morning Lord that you do not know them.
Me too. Because they don't know what they're walking into.
I don't know whether or not the Vistani will then lead them back out. I have not seen any of them leave.
The Vistani don't seem to be that magnanimous.
Are you looking up a word, Sean?
I sure was. It's always fun learning new words.
Love it.
Yeah. Magnanimous, generous, or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person. Very fitting. So what will it
So I
be?
would put your souls to rest. I think it's the right thing to do,
Yeah,
since it's here.
I think if we can if we can give hope to the land, maybe we can get everyone to rise up against their oppressive master.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that doing this will be more good than not.
Plus, I'm sure Argynvostholt, and I'll look kind of at the skull, wants to go home too. Argynvost, yeah. Could you tell us where exactly? Is it the mausoleum in the back where we stayed? Is that where we put it?
Yes.
You guys just want it? I mean,
Give us the moment.
We'll set up in the back while you
just
take
tell
a
us when
moment.
you're ready.
We are ready now, but by the time you get out there, we'll be ready to part from this world. One last thing. And as he reaches towards his belt, undoing the harness that holds the sheath to his greatsword, I do believe that it had a name.
Vengeance, if I recall.
It was Vengeance, yep.
Yeah. The letter.
Looking around at each of you, he does not see anybody. I believe nobody here wields a greatsword, do they?
Not yet.
I could potentially do so.
I
but
also am capable of handling a great sword, but it's probably bigger than I am. Plus, I have another magical sword, so I'll show him.
I could in theory. It's just
Not your
I use my
style.
claws more
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah, he pulls it out, and where I'm going, I won't be needing this.
We can.
Give it a good home, whether wielded by you or someone who you think truly would do it justice. Its name was Vengeance, as I swore that I would one day claim vengeance on the man that had killed my beloved. Looking at Godfrey, as well as my leader and friend.
I understand that sentiment.
I'm unable to fill that vow, but I hope that you're able to find someone that can. It's a very powerful sword. And I think Anderson's the largest of anybody, right? Is Anderson the largest? He's going to entrust it to you. It is a it is a +2 greatsword.
Oof.
That's pretty nice.
Does it have any other properties, or do we have to attune to it first?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Now go. I wish to be alone with my love. And they turn and they face each other on the stairs, holding hands.
as we walk around the corner to put the skull into the mausoleum, I'll turn to Dembrance. I mean, all said and done, he still gets to die with him.
Yeah, imagine embracing death in a peaceful way.
Hope that Strahd eventually gets to feel that feeling.
You do?
I need him to embrace death. I need him to be done with all of this. Not only is he tortured soul, but everyone around him is tortured as well. In the end, I do hope it's peaceful for him, as long as it's over.
Won't be peaceful as long as I'm involved, but if he's dead, he's dead.
Right, Andrews?
Alrighty. You head back around through the disheveled dining room, out through the
Veranda?
no the
Veranda?
temple.
The Buell?
No,
The
the
church?
yes, the church,
Pergola.
the altar.
Pagoda.
What? Pergola's the thing.
It is a thing.
Pergolas.
It is a thing.
Pagoda and a pergola and a gazebo and
A gazebo. Okay, everyone roll initiative. We're gonna fight the gazebo.
That's a TPK.
Making your way out into the cemetery, pulling open the stone door, exposing the cold, dark insides of the mausoleum. Do you do anything before you drag the skull inside?
No. I don't think we have any ceremony then to us. It's just like put it back.
I would think I would say a small prayer, being a cleric,
Okay.
for the everlasting resting of the souls in the castle, and perhaps Argynvost, whose skull I would assume is, and hope that by laying it to rest, that maybe now we can begin the mending of this world and start down a truly righteous path.
while he's doing that, I'm sawing off a few of the teeth.
So
I'm
you're
joking.
not
No, you're not.
druid.
Anderson, who has been carrying around the skull, is just ready to be done with it.
Placing it back down into the center of the mausoleum for a moment. I'll wait till he gets
Joseph
back.
Connor.
Joseph runs away.
BJ,
In character. My God, I am running out of diamonds for this shit. All right, knock it off.
I don't know what's going on.
It's a brand new laptop, right?
No,
Or
it is
desktop.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
You might want to try drivers and things like that, because I'm also noticing that your
Like
camera's
flash
doing
green,
a
right?
green flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should be able to search that on Google. I think Todd had a similar situation.
Okay.
When
Shall
he
not be named.
when he got his new desktop. Anyways,
Yo shit.
as you place the skull down, a deep sigh, breath of relief of a mission completed, Anderson, of a weight off of your shoulders, both literally and figuratively. For a moment, it doesn't seem like anything's happening. And then from within the skull, you can see a faint glow. White, blue, green. Colors swirling faster, faster. And as it's starting to glow and expand from inside of the skull, are you all continuing to stay within the mausoleum? Watching? Or are you
I
Okay.
How
don't
big
see
is
any
the
reason why we
mausoleum?
wouldn't, but
Anderson's watching. He wants to see where this goes.
Okay.
right, like we've been told amazing things happen, so I guess I'd stay.
Alrighty. The
It'd probably
light.
be outside the mausoleum.
Yeah, we probably did it while you were praying. Like you were outside doing your prayer, we're just like thonk, and you're just like, oh shit.
The light eventually engulfing the skull, and in a flash of radiance, just. You don't feel any pain. You don't feel a force come over you as this light swallows you, and from outside, this just massive beacon just shines straight from the tallest tower of Argynvost, parting the clouds above, shining to the blue sky that once was there before, basically piercing the veil. And this light shines, radiating out from Argynvost, what you would imagine to be at least a mile. This is a beacon straight into the sky. All of you, except for Temperance, feel an overwhelming sense of peace, of resolve, like this weight has been lifted from your chest. And you gain a +1 to AC and a +1 to all saving throws. And I'll give you an item to basically modify that permanently in your character sheet.
Wait. Everybody but Temperance is getting that, or is Temperance getting that second little thing right there?
Everyone but Temperance. Temperance, however, you feel
Uh-oh.
a general unease. Part of you says that you know this was the right thing, but something about this light gives you anxiety, gives you like this overwhelming sense that you just want to get rid of it, make it stop. You don't gain any negative effects, you don't lose plus to your AC or anything, but you just feel a hatred that wasn't there before for this skull. And also, flooding into your mind, a voice. A familiar voice. One that after a while you didn't realize it was gone until you heard it again. Rom reaching out to you. My child, I have not been able to contact you for some time. A darkness was stopping me from being able to reach out to you. You still drew from my power, so I knew you were there, but I could not contact you. Where have you gone?
Can she speak in her mind?
Yeah.
As a response? Okay. I'm in Barovia. I thought you knew. I thought I'd been speaking to you or a form of you.
I lost you one day. I have not spoken to you in months.
Temperance is just full panic.
Find safety. Write to me. I will be able to recall all that is in your notebook.
How will I know if it's you that responds? I've been written to by someone else.
I do not know the answer to that. But
Sign
trust,
with your name or a symbol of you, if it's you.
what would you have it be?
A feather like a shadow, like I've seen you.
And so it is done. And you still, the the presence in your mind vanishes, knowing that that's not the normal form of communication. But you could sense the dire need in their voice to reach out to you after having reestablished this link, this communication, after the veil from above had essentially been pierced. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Basking in the light.
Just kind of reflecting on what happened.
We're all kind of in a big group hug, but Temperance is
Temperance is
on
just
the
kind of like
outside.
standing and like staring at this light, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think we're all just kind of enjoying the moment.
Yeah, feeling
Looking
at peace.
looking up for the first time after the temporary blindness from the bright light kind of fades, being able to see the full magnitude of what you have accomplished here. The gray sky that you once saw encompassed the entire lands of Barovia, the dark clouds that were constantly rolling in, seeming to never end, is pierced for a singular circle about a mile wide, right over top of Argynvost. The blue skies, the white clouds. You can see even
What's
part of it extending just as Argynvostholt is up kind of into the mountain a little bit. You can see over the trees that this extends the great distance. But you can still see Ravenloft far in the distance, still shrouded by darkness, the light unable to pierce that distance.
what's to stop him from coming and grabbing this again?
Is the skull still in the room?
Too bright.
The skull
During
is
the
still in the
day.
room.
But there will be a night cycle.
Shines
So
all day,
out of character,
all night.
the way I remember it is that this skull is similar to the one in the chapel in Vallaki with those bones, where it, like, protected
Hollowed.
the areas. Is that the same here?
Can
Uh,
we
feel like that was
make the
explained.
ground hollowed?
you're not quite sure. They never really discussed it.
Okay.
Because he got the bones somehow.
Well,
Maybe we can go
maybe,
find
but
the cleric from Vallaki and have him come make these grounds hollowed. That would give us a reason to go to Vallaki, but if that priest is even there, or is willing
Well,
to come.
we can try to find someone to come guard it, but we can't stay here to guard it ourselves. Might just have to be a risk we take.
Or we make it a trap and we stay here and Strahd comes for the bones. And we ambush him on our turf instead of his.
Well, you guys are having this thought about killing people and traps and everything, Radovan turns into a silver eagle and flies up into the sky and screeches and does a barrel roll and a little loop de loo. And
While you're up in the sky, kind of circling around the beacon that extends further than the eye can see, you all that are even kind of looking up in that way, again, more as your eyes adjust, kind of looking in awe, can see circling right around that tallest tower where that the glass beacon is radiating is a silver dragon, kind of spiritual in nature, like ethereal, just kind of flying around the perimeter of Argynvost.
It's majestic. I'm just staring at it.
What's our next move?
Huh? Just Anderson's just like staring at all, just still at the dragon. Right.
Look, as much as I want to be here, basking in the light,
You're right.
This is
We
not
have-
the end game.
We have a time limit. What was this thing about Kresk you guys talked about?
It's another possible source of allies. Perhaps.
What about your werewolf friends, Anderson?
From
Wonder if he got home.
he might have wasn't
Would
there
that
to
be
see
it?
it, but he might have.
Didn't they say that if you rescued him, they'd help us?
Something like that. They're
That's
they're not too far from. Yeah, I don't think they're too far away. We can go pay them a visit, maybe.
yeah, they're up by the tower.
Yeah, they're just north of
Rictavio's
Rictavio?
Rictavio's tower.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, if you were to draw a triangle between Argynvost, Wizard of Wines, and Rictavio's tower, you're here. Wizard of Wines is here. Rictavio's tower's here. They're just right here.
Yeah, so they're
So it'd
very
be
close.
backtracking away from Valaki, but you kind of have to take part of that route anyways, just to get back onto the main
Yeah, because
path.
I remember it kind of being close to Valaki, or at least being like on almost,
Is it
almost
like
on the way.
Yeah, like 2 days or something. Yeah,
It's less than.
it's Valaki there.
Yeah, it's.
They're like there.
You definitely wouldn't be able to make it there tonight.
Oh, sorry. Right there.
But
Right.
you would be able to make it there in the morning.
So looking at the map, because I have a map.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
That's Kresk.
Okay. So it's actually not that far from where the. Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we
Kind of makes sense.
head up there, go over to Kresk, and then we can stop at Valaki on our way over to Raven Loft. Because we have to cut through that way anyway. So if we want to do Valaki, why don't we do it after Kresk? We've got a week before we have to start heading back that way.
Sorry, you're saying go to
it's a
Kresk,
terrible idea.
the werewolves, and then Valaki?
Werewolves first, then Kresk, then
Squawk.
Valaki.
Here, then.
I mean, you're. Oh, that's right. You're a bird. You're up in the sky.
I'm relishing the moment.
Yeah.
I'm taking a win when we get it.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's a little bit of a round circle, but if we go up around the lake and then stop at the werewolves, head over to Kresk, maybe spend a day or two there, and then just follow the road. We'd have to pass Valaki to get to Ravenloft anyways. You guys can check in on his mark. Maybe we can get some more information in Kresk or from the werewolves. Gather some allies before we storm. It makes more sense than going to Valaki first.
That's fine.
What Octavio? Do you think
He
he's
wasn't
still
in
around?
his tower anymore, was he?
Did we go over there since?
We haven't
Sure
been
he's
there
dead.
since we got
Mm-mm.
Arena.
I think he's dead.
Well, I mean, it's on the way to the werewolves. We could at least go see
Yeah.
if he's still there.
I believe Rictavio was injured when you left
He
him.
was, and we
Yeah,
left him
but
there.
I mean,
Yep.
he's like a famous hunter. I'm sure he's been injured
Succumbed to his
before.
injuries. Was the last time?
He's hung up
Yep.
from his big toes in his tower.
And Radovan's being
Yep.
very pessimistic, but I think that's
That's
makes
Joseph.
the most
Radovan's flying in the air right now and squawking.
I think that makes the most at least sense time-wise on what we're trying to do. We've got a week. It'll take us a day to head to Victoria's Tower. We can spend maybe 2 days in Kresk and then start heading towards the.
You got 13 days. Bless you.
Yeah, I'm fine with heading to Octavio's tower.
Okay.
It's a good stopover.
Should we head out tonight? It's getting late, or should we just stay here?
What time is it?
You left basically
First thing in the
first
morning.
light.
Yeah.
So it's probably
4 o'clock.
afternoon. It's not quite night. You definitely wouldn't be able to make Rictavio's before sundown.
Right.
But how many hours away would Octavio's be from Argynvostholt?
Let's say 5.
Okay, so if it's 4 p.m. and it's 5 hours, we'll get there right after sundown, so we could still do it.
You could,
Yeah, definitely nightfall.
Well, giant eagles are pretty strong.
Oh yeah, we're not trying to trek around a skull anymore.
We can
Right.
leave the wagon behind and travel faster too.
We could destroy the wagon so somebody doesn't have to necessarily take the skull with them on an easy to go type of cart.
We have two. We
Oh
have
yeah, it's a good idea.
one manly man. We've got one halfling now.
Yes, you guys no longer have the ability to polymorph.
We have two.
That's not true, John, by the way.
John, I think
That's
druids
not
get
true.
polymorph.
Druids get polymorph.
He's not gonna take it.
He said that now, which means he's gonna put it on his spell list.
Yep.
I mean, he can polymorph himself at will, so that's all he wants.
Yeah,
or
but he
needs.
can also
Which-
polymorph two
like,
of us or one of us and then transform himself. It's just a concentration.
I think.
John, if it makes you feel any better, we don't have slow anymore. I think that's good enough for
Well,
you.
that makes them feel so much better.
Yeah, that is actually good.
You can hold the concentration spell while you're wild shaped.
Can they fly? Can I just fly everybody there as a giant eagle though? That's what I was building up to.
I don't think everybody, but maybe one of
Why
us.
not everybody?
Because Ramis weighs like 500 pounds. He's so fat.
No, he's so small. He said he was a slight and slender and small man.
A medium load for giant eagle is 600 pounds, and a
Oh,
heavy
yes.
Oh, so
Medium
actually, yeah,
load.
he might be able to take all of us.
yeah, a heavy load is up to 900 pounds.
So 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 300 pounds, and 50 pounds. So yeah.
I'm 120 plus my gears, another 50.
All right.
So almost 2 bills.
And then what about you, Temperance?
Oh, she's a scrawny
yeah,
little
like-
teenager.
Yeah,
Big
it's like
load.
a hundo for me, and then what's my load?
All right, so
How big
oh,
is
yeah,
my
I
load? 18 pounds.
You've got nothing. So, but I mean, I'm almost like 160 because I'm carrying 100
Yeah.
pounds of gear.
Between the 3 of us right there, that's well over 300 pounds.
you got all the way to 600.
Yeah, so I think we
Yeah,
can
and
just
then
barely do it.
I think with Anderson, it's 120 plus 150. Yeah, about 270 pounds total with Anderson.
So I think we might be just over.
Where were we at before?
I'd have to drop some of my gear.
Let me just get out the
What? No,
calculator.
John just said 600, up to 600.
Right,
Alright,
but I think
so
we're over that because
Oh.
I'm 120 pounds in just my shit.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
how much do you
180.
Oh,
weigh?
jeez. And then how about all the stuff you carry?
That is 48 pounds is how much I made my character.
All right. Anderson, what are you all in?
So Anderson weighs 150, then 120. He has 120 pounds of stuff he's carrying.
Yep, that's over. That's over. It's 618. So you're at heavy load.
Oh wait, actually, hold on. If it's 618, I can drop my hunting trap because that's 25 pounds.
But that was not including temperance.
That wasn't including temperance.
No.
Temperance can fly.
All right.
I mean, I actually can fly, but
I mean, honestly, or like Radovan can just polymorph Anderson, and then the rest of you just ride on Radovan.
Yeah,
Anderson.
that's. I mean,
Make
you.
Anderson a horse and I'll ride him. It's fine.
You haven't shown anybody that, have you, Temperance?
no.
Okay.
I mean, assuming
She's a
Radovan has
wizard,
polymorph,
so.
I actually don't know if he does.
So I'll say you can do it, but you'll suffer a point of exhaustion to make it there. If you want to,
Okay.
if you want to carry them all.
Probably, it's still probably going to be faster than
Walking
crawling.
in.
Yeah,
We'd
walking.
make it there before dark for sure.
Yeah, but
Anything's
think
better
about all
than
the
crawling.
sweet experience that we're losing on ground units. Man,
I mean, we
In this
know I do
particular case,
milestone
fast travel is
anyways.
kind of a thing now.
You guys can.
I just want to
Uh,
fight.
We will fight.
I want to fight some undead baddies.
There might be some undead people in the clouds.
Yeah.
Undead
Yes, the undead
vampire cloud
people.
giants.
Mm.
All right. So it's settled then.
Before we take off, Temperance is gonna cast bonfire onto the cart so that it burns up.
Oh,
and
I thought you were
no one can
gonna
use
cast
it.
bonfire on the bones.
Oh,
So you're like, fucking, I hate those things.
I feel
It gives me
terrible
anxiety.
inside.
I need to
Why are
put
you
fire
blowing
on
up
it.
the cart, though? Well, actually, that Joseph's happy about that, but I mean, it's a cart.
He said,
but it's
somebody said so they wouldn't give somebody ease of transport.
If they
for the
came
skull.
to steal the bones. We should also look for some sort of chain and chain up the mausoleum to make it just a little bit harder.
I use
Is there,
stone shape and
is there any heavy
close it off.
stones I can place in front of the
Oh,
door?
that would be good.
Something?
No, Joseph just fixed it.
Oh, okay.
Oh no shit! So you can just like mold all the
Melt
stone
stone.
together.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, done. You got to use another wild
First
shape.
level spell. Oh yeah.
Also-
to transform back.
Yeah, but he gets his own short rest, so I don't see why he.
Y'all good for that?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's good.
Alrighty. And I imagine with Honora and Temperance on the back of Radovan and Ramiz and Anderson in the clutches of the large eagle talons flying through the sky over top
Tie a rope around him and hang on for dear God life.
over top of the woods of, or the Svalich woods, seeing Rictavio's tower in the distance, surrounded by Lake Baratok.
All right, so we'll start next session at Rictivio's tower.
If that's where you guys want to go.
I think that's where we wanted to go, unless anybody had any other objections or ideas.
We can finally fish for that three-headed turtle.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. Alrighty. Good stuff. We'll pick up there next time.